1968, I think I remember it as being, it was probably the worst fire season New South Wales has ever had. 90% of the state was burnt, and it burnt except for the, I don't remember which part it was, a little bit of the coast was burnt. All of Sutherland was burnt, and in fact it took 3 years before we had our first fire. There was nothing left to burn. 1968, I think I was about 18 at the time. I wasn't a member of the brigade, but I coming home with my future wife on the train, and I saw where the railway line runs parallel to the highway. And I said to her that at least there's one bit of bush that hasn't burnt yet, because these fires have been burning for at least 2 or 3 weeks before. That I went home, she went her place, because we weren't actually together yet, and I was sitting down to tea, and our house at Engadine faced to the east, and then suddenly the sky lit up. And it was an enormous fire that was coming out of the Royal National Park, and it was hitting the, I think the new highway hadn't been completed yet. The 6 lanes were still there, but even on the other side of the road, the flames were actually getting across, a lot of sparks, a lot of embers. And it was quite an exciting time for a raw recruit, and they actually accepted, let me get on the truck. I don't know why. I think it was a little bit different to now, and a volunteer of any sort was worth their weight in gold. And just a bit of history on that. That was a fire that had been burning in Royal National Park to the southeast of Heathcote, and anyone who's been to East Heathcote will notice there's a very broad white trail around it. That trail was bulldozed around East Heathcote to provide a barrier and to put a buffer in for backburning, because Reggie's Fours was, even though the trail was put in there, his belief was that it was going to hit Engadine, and it did. In fact, he didn't want to commit tankers to that area of Heathcote. New South Wales Fire Brigade officer, who was the I think it would have been a 41F appointee at the time, state of emergency, wanted to attack East Heathcote. As luck would have it, the fire went straight past East Heathcote and did hit Engadine. I don't have a lot of memories that night. It was fairly blurred. There was a lot of things happening, and for a young person it was quite an exciting and very frightening time. But the miracle, I think, was that given the equipment that we had available, that not a house was lost in Sutherland Shire, and that was, we did lose a lot in the Blue Mountains, but probably because there weren't as many people there then, the houses were further spread, and we were very lucky, because we had Engadine 6-1, which was a 1948 petrol tanker that had been converted, carried 1,000 gallons of water, so it was very handy. That's, I don't know what that is now, about 4,500 litres, so it's a lot more than a Cat 1 carries. And the others had blitzers or whatever you want to fight the fire with.